Well, we want to take some time to answer some of the email questions you sent in. Pat, this first one is from Michelle, who says, when your spouse tells you that he isn't in love with you anymore, is there any hope to change his mind and find love again? We've been married for 25 years. I still love him so very much.
You know, this whole concept of romantic love doesn't really appear too much in the Bible. Marriage was a little different than what we think of in Hollywood. And, you know, we go through changes, and I think men go through changes. So you've been married for 25 years. Let's assume you got married when you were 25. Now your husband is 50, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going through all kinds of hormonal changes. Men have a male menopause just like women, except they don't get hot flashes. So all of a sudden, his whole life is turned upside down. He doesn't know who he is, where he's going. He thinks he's hit a wall. He's climbed every mountain he can climb. He doesn't see anything in the future. And he is reflecting some of that on you. All I can say is hang in there. Now, it may be he's going to go look for some 20-year-old chorus girl and say, well, she's the answer to my problem. But she's not. And none of them are. So if you will continue to tell him you love him and continue to show love and openness and friendship and understand what he's going through, maybe you say, can God bring us back together? I think after 25 years, you've shared some pretty significant things. You didn't talk about children, but if you've raised children together, you've had sorrow together, you've had disease and sickness together, you've had trips together, you've had financial crises together. You've built up a web of relationships that you just don't want to blow up, and I don't think he does either. So ask God to speak to him. In the meantime, let him know that you understand, that you're with him, and see what happens. But you said, is any way, but this romantic love stuff, I'm not in love with you anymore. Mm-hmm. That doesn't cut it in the Bible. I'm sorry. All right?
This is Ann, who says, do you think society would have a stronger marriage rate if we learned as children how to be good husbands and wives?
I grew up in a family where divorce was undreamed of. My wife grew up in a family where divorce was undreamed of. My children have grown up in a family where divorce is undreamed of. So as a result, they see you. Boys will model after their fathers. Girls will model after their mothers. The relationship, what a father does with a mother, will be the template of how a young man wants to treat his spouse, because he's seen it. Mm-hmm. Now, I know some of them are so gross, they say, I don't want to ever do what my father did, and, you know, they go exactly the opposite direction. But if there's love and harmony, they say, well, how did Daddy do it? How did Mother do it? What did she do? Teach me how. And it's just part of the culture. So that's what you've asked, and I think if we model successful marriages, our children will copy us, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
This is from a viewer who says, my husband and I have been married for 13 years, but he divorced me 2 years ago. Our marriage did not end because of adultery, so would it be a sin if I prayed for another husband?
You didn't tell me about his Christian belief or anything. The Apostle Paul said, now look, if you got an unbelieving spouse and they're pleased to stay with you, we'll hang around. But if the unbeliever wants to leave, then let them depart. The brother or sister is not bound in that case. So I don't know about your husband, but if indeed he is an unbeliever and he has left you, regardless of the cause, he's left you, then according to what's called the Pauline privilege, you are not bound to that relationship. So you say, is it right to start praying for another? You love being married, you want a life partner, and if you ask God for another that's a Christian, there's nothing wrong with that. All right.
Well, thank you for your questions, everybody. We really love hearing from you.